So, so this is something that I've been thinking a lot about. Um, so that's exactly why I want to make this video. I was actually initially thinking about writing an article and everything, but it seems things are going, it'd be much better if I actually talk about it. So, what I want to talk about is the importance of building solutions to your day-to-day problems. This is something very, very extremely essential. I think right now there's so many problems that we face day to day activities. Let's say, very simple example, is a financial expense tracker. This is very, very basic thing that many people around us are struggling, right? So I struggle too. So like my salary would come and I would send it to my parents and pay the debts and everything else. And end of the month, if I check, I might have very less money. I'm like, where did all the money go? So things go in that kind of a direction. You're clueless about where the money is going and how much actually you're spending on essentials. So once I built an app and I was checking through my transactions, I noticed that I was spending less than 7% of the amount in food. Very, very, very less amount. And a huge amount was on paying debts and other things. So it made me think and take steps on how to reduce that burden and things like this. And I believe problems like these are there around each one of you watching this video. And either you can tweet about the problem that you're facing or something like that, or you can try to solve it yourself. If you are a software developer, if you're aspiring to be a software developer, then that's exactly what you should be doing. Don't worry about how big it is going to be, or it's going to scale to a global level or things like that. That's not the important thing here. The important thing here is you are trying to solve a real world problem. If it's bothering you, if that trouble exists for you, for sure that's going to exist for many other 100 people. Whether they're going to explore and find your product and everything else is a secondary, but building a solution that you think is something that's going to solve your problem, and it does solve your problem, then that's exactly what you should be building. Right now you can vibe code, but for a new developer I would say not to do vibe coding. But if you are a professional developer, then you can vibe code and you can build that solution and share your insights. The reason I am emphasizing on building uh, solutions is because you don't learn if you don't build anything. If you're going to be working in let's say XYZ company, and you're just going to be uh, doing something that is what they ask you to do. They say, oh, let's do this feature, and you're doing that feature. Or if they're going to ask you to fix a specific bug, and you're just going to go to the code and see where the bug originates, and you're going to fix that bug, you're going to be living your life that way. I mean, you might be solving problem for your company. That is absolutely a mandatory thing. You have to be doing that. But that's not real development, right? If you are having some personal problems that can be solved with technology and you're not using that technology, then what are you doing, right? Um, because I've seen a guy in Kerala. I mean, I saw it on Instagram, where he's a welder, and he have learned technical stuff like building tools and stuff like that with metals and wood and stuff like that. And then his daughter got into a medical school, and they were having some problems with specific tools, and you know uh, that is specific to their specific places and problems. I think this guy was building stuff for them, and he himself now goes to the hospitals and try to solve certain problems for them by building a specific solution for that specific problem. So there are people doing that in other fields, and I think over in tech we also should start thinking about this. There are people, I mean, every technology that you hear that is global right now is solving a problem. But what I'm saying is, from your perspective, there are small problems that are yet to be solved. And the reason I'm saying is there are people who will do it, but if you don't do it, you don't get to enjoy what tech is and the beauty of how building stuff, uh, you don't have to build, like a huge decentralized system kind of thing. No, if you just build a simple to-do app tailored to your own specific needs that you think, oh, this should be helpful for people, and if you had this kind of a type, this is much more helpful. That's really amazing. That's exactly what you should be building. And if it solves your problem, that's it. Just build it and launch it. You don't have to create a company around it or anything. You just have to start building. The reason I'm emphasizing so much, so much, so much, so much on building is because that's how you learn. That's how you learn how to build something. That's how you learn how to research. If you find a problem, how do you solve it? You go to a ChatGPT or whatever other things, and you try to solve it that way. And even if that specific model isn't able to solve, then you'll be able to debug yourself. You'll be able to see the code and, oh, maybe this was a simple problem. And you'll be able to solve these things. And you'll discover a lot of new opportunities but while doing while coding, or I mean, building solutions. And so the reason, again, I'm reiterating on the points, is natural problem solving skills is you get it instinctively when you solve, when you face a problem maybe somewhere in the transit, and you say, hey, this can be solved very simply, let me make a solution. Whether you propose it to the government or things like that is forget about it. Build a solution and you're like, oh yes, this is definitely going to solve the problem, and just post it somewhere on X or something, or keep a microsite where you keep all the experiments and projects and things like that. So natural problem solving. Number two is technical knowledge expansion. You'll be learning while building a lot of solutions or softwares or whatever that you're building. Your technical knowledge expands really, really well. Unlike the typical educational kind of, where you just go theoretically and read and, do stuff, that's not how it works here. You literally know the core, what's happening. This is very useful because the next project that you do, you're going to correlate this experience. You're going to have this experience in your mind, and it's going to help you a lot. And another thing is you're going to discover new tools. Maybe you might be using something else. You might be using X, and you might be now you're like, oh, maybe X had this many pros, and the cons are a little too much. Let me try Y, and then you give it a try in Y, the next project, and you see, oh, Y is much better. Well, let's use Y for all the rest of the other project until I find something else. But you also know what X was pro, what the pros of the X were, right? So that kind of knowledge is very, very important if you want to really build a solution that is, fast and scalable. And while all this thing is there, you're continuously learning and improving yourself. That is very, very important in any kind of a technical field. You have to learn, you have to keep learning, you have to fail, and you have to learn. That's how everything happens, right? Now, in software, you can also, once you build these tools, you are 100% sure that this is going to help, let's say, thousands of people. And your own intuition will ask you to put it out in public. And at that time, you will see how marketing works, how you have to word the things in a certain way so that people feel aligned to it, right? People feel, okay, let me check it out. I have the same problem. So, marketing, you also learn how to market things. Uh, and and you have a solution to your problem. And if your marketing and things, you think your solution scales up, you can price it, you can put it under a paywall, and make a money out of it. Another thing is employer confidence also, because your employer knows, oh, he can build stuff, and he is building stuff here and there after, and the quality they might be able to assess, okay, this is okay, this is not that great, but okay. But they'll be able to see how you're improving, over phase, over different phases, and that is very important. They'll be also be part of your journey towards whatever that you want to achieve. And when I say this to many people, the most important thing that they say is, "Oh, but I think these people might not really like it, and they might start judging me and blah blah blah, things like that." I say, don't waste your time on thinking what other people are gonna think. I build crap shit things sometimes. I mean, mostly, because they solve my problem. They might not be solving the same problem for you, but they are solving problems for me. And there'll be always people who are gonna judge you, who's gonna say, "Oh, this product is shit. Why did you spend your time, valuable time, in building this?" And things like that. So don't worry about it. All you have to worry about is building something and giving 100 percentage of yourself. If you think this is the product and this is my vision and I have to implement this, go and do it. Don't worry about other people judging you or thinking, "Oh, that's creepy. Who cares?" Don't worry about it. Sorry for my thing. Don't worry about it. Just build stuff and don't worry about other people. Most people don't really care and they have their own life, and they're busy and stuff like that. If they say don't worry about it. And building one project after another, you will experience yourself the ecstasy of building stuff. The beautiful thing about software is that you're not really wasting that much of resources. Well, server and things like that, yes, but you're not wasting a lot of raw material. Like if you are I don't know, metal guy who does welding kind of a thing, they are using raw materials and things. If they do build something and it fails, that's a huge cost. That's not the thing for us. So we have that kind of a freedom with us, and we must use it, right? If you don't build anything, I don't know what you're doing as a software developer. Okay, that's good. And some other one other problem that people say is, "Oh, but there's already WhatsApp. Do I need to build another chat system?" My answer is yes. You have to. You have to start building things. If you think WhatsApp is amazing and you think uh, uh, you you cannot live with it, then you should be building something like that. I mean, you shouldn't do such hard project, not hard, but that kind of a project instantly. You should incrementally go start building stuff. Build small scale chat UI maybe, and then slowly think about how would I be able to store these data and how would the server be communicating and things like. Go step by step, or take one huge project and focus on it completely. But I've noticed that when people take huge projects and they get stuck in between, they kind of just drop it and go. So I wouldn't recommend that. I would ask you to build very simple, very very you know very simple to do app or very simple notes app. Don't even worry about server side. Build something that can run locally, and host it somewhere in GitHub pages or something. This is very important. And so even if you have to reinvent a wheel, you should be doing that, because you learn a lot by doing that. So just because there's amazing WhatsApp, there's Ratai, that is a Signal, there's a lot of other apps, chat apps, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be part of uh, that knowledge base, or whatever that you're gonna call it, right? It's very very important um, thing. And once you start building these things, when you get into the phase of building solutions for the problems that you are facing, you will start to see the confidence and you grow exponentially. It grows really well. Maybe you know certain times you feel depressed, or you might think, but that's all for good. But end of the day, you'll be feeling very confident in whatever that you've built, and you'll be very proud of what you've built. And you might be asking me, what the hell am I gonna do? I'm gonna stick with this company for my life. Why do I need to improve my skill set? We never know. Things are going rough, and you gotta be. This is something that you have to enjoy doing, and it's very, very important. And for the people who are new grads, the people who have not, who are still in college and who is planning to get into tech, I think for them, building projects right now is very important. I mean, for everybody this is important, but I'm just saying specifically for them. If they start building very, very simple, again, I say I don't want huge macro systems. Very, very simple, very, very simple solutions. And you might see, maybe end of the third or fourth year, you'll be starting to see you have a very nice portfolio of projects. Very silly, very dumb, very things, that's fine. And you will be able to create, okay, I'm going to post this much in publicly, I'm going to keep this much private, because and if the interviewer, I mean, if you're applying for a certain company and you have a small filler space, you can talk about your projects. That is very important, because now most people don't really care about your educational credentials or your many other stuff. They care about what you can build and the problems that you have faced. So this will really help you. So I would summarize again: build build a lot of solutions for your problems. Very, very simple problems that you face day to day. It doesn't have to be huge, and this will really help you. So here are the points that's going to help you: natural problem solving ability. It's going to help your intuitions, and next time you face a problem, you're going to say, hey, I can solve this problem by this solutions. This is very helpful. Even if you are founder of a specific company, you can see how you can solve certain problems. Or if you are just talking to some random stranger, and he seems to have a company, and he's running. I mean, these things happen in transit, like when you're traveling from here to your hometown, or traveling in between, you meet a lot of nice people. Maybe they're building some other solution. They have faced this problem really harshly, and then you can tell them, hey, I can solve this in like certain times. And so if you should have the confidence to tell that to people, or the person that you're meeting, you should have it yourself, that, oh, I've built this many things, I can definitely build this. That kind of confidence it's really worth a lot. And the technical knowledge expansion, the technical abilities that you have right now is going to expand really well when you start building multiple projects one after another, and improving that later on, one by one. Or you see, oh, I think maybe I could add that feature to that problem, I mean that solution, and I go back and i I put a new feature and things like that. So these kind of things. And building new problems also help you discover new tools and technologies and different algorithms or different things that you could have done better. So the next time you build a project or the existing project, you can improve it significantly. This always stays in your head, right? That's a great resource that you can have. It's 10x better than reading any book or any videos or any documentations that you're going to read. This is very, very important. And if you are planning to put your product out and want people to test it and help marketing, you learn how to market your product in a way that people will like to test it. People would like to, okay, he has built this many applications, I've given it a try, and I'm sure the next one that he's going to build is also going to be great, so let me give it a try. They may not use it, they may not become an avid user, but they will definitely come and test your app and give you feedbacks in a very positive or negative way. That will be positive for you as a person and individual, and that you will have a solution to your problems, and definitely solving problems for other people as well, right? So this is what I strongly believe, and I think the way the tech industry is moving, right, we have to start pivoting to that kind of an um, path where you are building softwares, and you're not building something that no one ever has, but you're also building what you think already exists, but you think you can give it a better polish and serve it in a much better way. This is, I truly believe, right? So since vibe coding is getting really, really popular and people are adopting it in a such a way, I believe that is the future. I think vibe coding will be the future for, quick solution things, for creating MVPs and solving bugs and things like that. But that is for professional developers only, right? If you are a new developer who just starting your life in development, I wouldn't recommend you start with vibe coding. All right, you can ask it to do code reviews, right? Hey, I built this stuff, can you do a code review on this and give me feedbacks that can help me to improve myself? That is right. But don't let AI write even a single line of code for you, uh, into your code base. Ask it to write something maybe uh, in the chat, and you analyze it and ask questions. And once you've discovered, once you've understood that code block completely, then you can, you know, replicate that in your own way, right? So this is very essential. But for professional developers, vibe coding is the future, and I'm sure you are committing all the changes by understanding what that specific change set does to your code base in production or development. That is very, very important. You cannot let AI just push something to your repository without you understanding at least the structure and how is it trying to solve this problem. Because soon AI, I mean, the AI tech is going to be very expensive, and companies shouldn't struggle to fix any kind of a future bugs. And you should be knowing if a customer is facing this kind of a problem, you should be able to fix it instantly, because you have that in your mind. Hey, that problem could be solved because that problem has caused because of this kind of a thing that I've added, this kind of a feature that I've added there. So these kind of things is very important, and it makes you become a replaceable in your company. So if I know I talk a lot about lot I talk a lot of gibberish here and there, but this is something that I wanted to convey to every software developer around here, or wherever you are, and everyone who's aspiring to be a software developer as well. Let's build solutions, build products, build very, very silly products to very, very, great products, but it should solve your problems, it should solve someone's problems. And with that, by solving these problems, you also feel yourself an accomplishment. But not just that, you've also solved a problem for somebody else, and this is very, very important. It keeps you moving forward in a very, very interesting way. And I really love building these kind of things, and this is exactly why I am posting this video on YouTube as well. This is basically a general diary about my experience in these kind of things, and it's basically a video on me telling myself what I like and what I don't like, why I choose this specific path, and things like that. So there's a lot of gibberish here and there, and that context that you might not understand. I'm really sorry about it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.